with Ask the Sheikh with Uncle Mumin already missing. He's already bailed on me yesterday and he's doing it again. But alhamdulillah, we've got Sheikh Haroon here available, mashallah. The whole essence of the show is Ask the Sheikh. So alhamdulillah, he's available here to answer any questions. I've already heard, mashallah, the phone ringing already. Was that the phone, is it?
Assalamu alaikum to everybody who's listening. Unfortunately, like Sheikh Waddah mentioned, unfortunately, one of the main characters here is Mumin. Like, he kind of glues it all together, and he's got a lovely way about him. But apologies to everybody that Mumin, he can't make it today. And like you mentioned, he even ditched him yesterday for his Quran thing. But inshallah ta'ala, we'll still keep on going. So if anybody has anything they want to ask, do phone in, send your messages in. So alhamdulillah, we're going to start off with some Quran.
Alhamdulillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا صدق الله العظيم.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So as I'm sharing the link out, I just also want to mention for those who aren't, many won't be aware of this, but this morning in a town near to Istanbul, one of the great Mufassirin, Sheikh Muhammad Ali al-Sabuni, trying to find his details here. He passed away this morning. One of the great Imams of the Quran. He passed away this morning, Sheikh Muhammad Ali al-Sabuni. He has a great work on Quran, known as Safwat al-Tafasir, a 3-volume, for beginners with the Quran. And he also, and I use that myself heavily, that tafsir of the Quran, because what he does, he takes like the key points from the major tafsirs. He also has a great work that I'm actually teaching at the moment called Rawa'i al-Bayan fi Ahkam al-Quran, where he goes into lengthy detail and discussion about verses that deal with rules within the Quran. So he passed away this morning. He's originally from Halab. I think he was based in Saudi for a long time, but he moved to Istanbul, near Istanbul, and he passed away this morning. Allah yarhamah. So he's, mashallah, from this generation, truly is one of the great Imams of the Quran, Sheikh Muhammad Ali al-Sabuni. So we ask you all to make dua for him. They're the people who guide us through these difficult times, the people of the Quran. Taib, do you have any questions?
So the whole idea is for people to phone in, inshallah, to tune in, to phone in. And if you have any questions, and especially for Ramadan is, it's creeping up. It's the best time to prepare yourself for Ramadan is to ask anything that's in doubt in your head or anything that you have. We've got Sheikh Haroon who's available to answer any questions, inshallah. I'm just trying to do Mu'min's job today. Just about.
Are you the host today?
Just about being the host.
Did you say that, have we got anything coming in? Where's your mate Omar? Hold on, is this the Dawam video? Yeah.
Committing sins in Ramadan, basically. What's the uquba in that? It's a good question, that. What's this guy? I'm sure you're meant to be in Tarawih at that time.
Fair enough, fair point, yeah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So Hamza's asking a question. Hamza's been a naughty boy during the night of Ramadan. That's what he's asking. No, I'm joking.
He's getting defensive.
I know, he's getting all upset. So what happens if somebody commits some type of haram during during Ramadan. As a general principle in Sharia, in Islam, based upon understanding Quran and Sunnah, just as al-hasanat tatada'af, good deeds are multiplied, likewise sayyi'at, likewise sins are also multiplied. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Ummahat al-Mu'mineen, زوجات النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ومن يأتي منكن بفاحشة مبينة يضاعف لها العذاب ضعفين. Any one of you, like wives of the Prophet, commits any type of wrong, clear wrong, يضاعف لها العذاب ضعفين. The sin is multiplied upon them. And that's because shortly after that, Allah says to them, لَسْتُنَّ كَأَحَدٍ مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ. You are not like normal women. Also, so wives of the Prophet, the good deeds are multiplied more than normal, but also the bad deeds as well. Another example, the haram of Mecca. We all know like 100,000 times every salah that you do there, and all good deeds are multiplied there. But then Allah also says the opposite. وَمَنْ يُرِدْ فِيهِ بِإِلْحَادٍ بِظُلْمٍ نُذِقْهُ مِنْ عَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. And many of the mufassirin, they said what's meant by that, يُرِدْ فِيهِ بِإِلْحَاد, إِلْحَاد a ma'asiyah. Anybody even has irada, niyyah of committing a haram inside the haram, will punish him severely. Normally, if you just have a bad thought and it goes, you're not held accountable.
You get more ajr, don't you?
Yeah.
Ajr for it.
Yeah, exactly. But not at the haram of Mecca.
So you don't get no way back in a way.
No way back. Allah says we'll punish him. So the principle when we look at Quran and Sunnah is that good times, good places, good people, the rewards are multiplied, but also those sins are all. And a simple example, committing haram in the masjid. It's not the same as committing, it's far worse than committing haram anywhere else. Wallahu a'lam. Tayyib, Shamsul, have you seen the draw this morning? Champions League?
No, I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, we got Real Madrid. That's why you're saying Ramos.
Bring it on though, I think.
You know, I was actually thinking they're actually probably one of the weakest teams in the whole of the draw.
This season.
This season. Like Barcelona's out and Real have gone. So so it's probably a good draw for us.
It'll be alright. Especially if you get the big teams first, they get them out the way anyway.
The hardest teams are going to be like Bayern.
Bayern being the best, I think.
Bayern's the best. Bayern, yeah.
But
City, they always fall.
Well, everyone's scared of Liverpool, facing Liverpool, to be honest with the thing.
Yeah.
Looking at it now.
Well, Real's a good draw.
It's not bad.
And then the semis, Chelsea or Porto. It's all the way there.
I'd rather have Chelsea than Porto.
Who's phoning in? I'll bet it's either Saqib from Nelson or Yahya from Blackburn. There you go. It's Yahya from Blackburn. Assalamu alaikum, Yahya. Is it Yahya? It is.
Assalamu
What's going on?
Assalamu alaikum.
He just put it with 20 pounds.
Assalamu alaikum.
It looks like it's one.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Who am I speaking to?
Muslim sister. I have a question related to Zakat.
Bismillah, you're through to the Sheikh, inshallah.
Yeah, can I ask you, yeah?
Yes.
Right. I have somebody in a mind who is an old lady. She have one daughter. She's not married, about 45, 40. And they have two sons. That lady, the old lady, they don't have a husband. He passed away long time. They have two sons, one in England and one is back from Africa. They don't have anything. He came back. The wife just sent him back after 20 years. But that person don't have anything. So are they allowed to take a zakat?
Are they allowed
for starting some job or something?
Are they allowed to be given zakat? Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the lady, or are you talking about her sons?
What it is, I give it to that lady. So obviously they're living in one house, and they have this son who is about 40 or something like that. But I don't think he can get any job in there, in India or wherever they live, because he's gone too old. But so if I send to the mom, but am I allowed, because we have a young son? But they don't have anything.
Oh, okay. So I just want to be clear. So you're saying, can you give it to the mum even though there's some sons there? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, but they're living living together, that unmarried girl and that son who came back from Africa, they're all living in one household.
Yeah, no, yes, you can. Yes, you can give it to her. So I just want to be absolutely clear what you're asking. So there's this woman living there, and she's got her sons living.
Yeah, what is the one son in here in England, but he's with the wife and the children, and he can't earning much, so he don't send to mom that thing. And that girl who is unmarried, she's sewing and things and doing the job. But that son came back from Africa, but I like to give to the mom, but the son living with them. So am I allowed to give? That's the only question.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oh, Jazakallah. Thank you very much.
As long as she herself doesn't have any wealth or any gold or anything like that, then yes.
Right. So how can we find out they have gold or anything? Because people don't clear that question, and directly we can ask them, do you have anything? So in that condition.
Sister, it depends. No, it depends. And you go al-hukm ala al-zahir, like, does it look like she's living a good lifestyle or wealth? Does she look like a person? Or does she look like someone who doesn't really have much money?
Right. But that's only what is making me worried. If my zakat going to accept it by Allah, or I don't know.
But see,
because
sister,
it's a very delicate situation.
Sister, the thing is that if you're not sure and you think maybe she has got money, maybe she has, you don't know, she's got some money stored away in a bank, or she's got other things, and you don't know. If you're not sure, then you should always be safer and just not give it. But it's only if you know, or you think it's highly likely, غلبة الظن, where you think it's highly likely that she hasn't got it, then you're okay to give. And then even if it turns out she had money, then you're okay then. Then you're okay.
Right. Jazakallah. Thank you very much.
May Allah bless you.
And keep me in your dua.
You too, and thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Kadafiz.
Jazakallah. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. So just to elaborate a bit on that point, because it's an excellent point there about zakah, which is that, so the lady there saying that there's an elderly lady, or not elderly, but she's middle-aged, but she wasn't married, or she's not married, and she said something about her sons who, is this, okay, we'll come back to elaborate on this. Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Who's that? Should have had a little chat with them. Next time one of Mumin's people calls in, we'll have a little chat with them, mess about with them. Who are you? Yeah, so just to elaborate on that zakah point, just keep it on the screen there because we'll go through those. On the zakah point, yeah, so if there's a woman who's got sons, or even if she's married and a husband, but she herself is faqira, she herself doesn't have, even if she's got a husband who's required to provide for her, but she doesn't have, she's entitled to receive zakah. She's entitled to receive zakah. If she's got sons who are required to support her, she herself is entitled to receive zakah. Because everybody is considered ghani or faqir based upon themselves, unless the children. A minor child is considered to be ghani or faqir, rich or poor, based upon the father. But other than that, you can give zakah to a woman who doesn't have anything, even though she's got a husband, even though she's got kids, and so on. Allahu a'lam. Will there be any Arabic i'tikaf this year? No, I don't think so. Maybe next year. You know what we did a couple of years back? You know, because we've got like Arabic students who just push them always talk Arabic. So 2 years back and the year before that, so it's 2 consecutive years, we did an i'tikaf, but the shart was they can only speak in Arabic through the 10 days.
Push them though, but
yeah, and yeah, no, there were punishments for that, yeah. But we even had durus, like durus in Quran and other subjects, just purely in Arabic. Alhamdulillah,
that's the way to learn, because you realise with people, even when they go abroad and they try and learn language, it's different.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. We lost the call, is it? Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you through to Sheikh, inshallah?
Is that Yahya?
What's going on, Sheikh? You both okay?
Yeah, man, your weekly call, even though I'm going to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking you're getting a lot of phone calls today, so let me quickly get mine in.
Bismillah, go on. You talk to Sheikh Waddah.
No problem.
But you know what?
Sheikh Waddah,
before you start, we're going to put a condition on you now. You can only phone in if you sing us a nasheed or a qasida.
You'll never walk home alone? I can't sing that. I don't really support that team, Sheikh.
I didn't say about any football, man. I'm talking about Dino. Sing some religious songs.
Sorry.
Because you know, without Mumin, there's something missing, and there's a bit of a vibe that's missing.
It's a spark, I think.
Yeah. No, he's got a spark.
Yahya will bring the spark in for us instead.
Yeah. Go on, Bismillah, anyway.
Yeah. So my question is, in regards to, like, you know, when you go to Kubistan,
a graveyard, yeah.
Like what? Yeah. So what's your mindset meant to be like? You know, when you go every week and stuff, like, obviously you're meant to go to the graveyard to remember, like, life and death. But sometimes I don't know. I'm questioning whether I actually, like, remember that, because so I don't know what to do, Sheikh. So I'm just wondering, like, can you give me some advice? Because obviously I go to pay the Fatiha, but, like, I don't know if I feel the way I should feel at the graveyard. So I'm just wondering.
Can I ask you, do you go regularly to the cemeteries?
I go every Sunday, Sheikh.
MashaAllah, ahsant. MashaAllah, it's good. So just as a general point for all listeners, the Prophet encourages us to go to graveyards regularly. He said, "Kuntu nahaytukum an ziyarat al-qubur fazuruha." He told us, he said, at first they were not allowed to, but then he said, go and visit them. So that's an amr from the Prophet, and go and visit graves. فَإِنَّهَا تُذَكِّرُكُمُ الْآخِرَةِ, because they remind you of death, of the next world. So just as a general point, like, we need to start getting back into a habit. People don't go to the graveyards anymore. And honestly, I've got a real issue with this. When people go graveyards, it's like they're going out for an afternoon out somewhere. Like, it's going to bury somewhere, just like a little picnic in the afternoon.
You've left Islam, you've done something bad.
A'udhu billah, like the way people go, a'udhu billah. It's hadith, although there's some da'af, there's some weakness. Inna Allah kariha lakum thalathan. Allah hates from three things from you. One of them, he said, ad-dahak 'inda al-maqabir, laughing at graveyards. So how should you go? Take what the Prophet said, and think as you go in there, think about, that's your home, that's where you're going to be. Like when you go in there, you say, Assalamu alaikum ahla darqam, antum as-sabiqun wa inna insha'Allah bikum lahiqun. You've gone ahead of us and insha'Allah will be joining you. And the Imams, they say, insha'Allah, he's not that, I'm not sure if I'm going to die or not. في هذه المقبرة. Insha'Allah bikum lahiqun fi hadhihi al-maqbara. Insha'Allah we'll be joining you in this graveyard. So as you go in there, go with that. And some of our mashayikh, some of our imams, when they're leaving their home, they started reading Surah Yasin, so that when they get there, they're finishing. And so just get yourself in that mind frame. Try and force yourself to cry. And some narrations mentioned from the Saleh of the Ummah, said if you went to a graveyard with them at the burial, he said you could not recognize who's the family of the dead. They're all crying. They're all broken hearted there. And some of them mention as a dhikr, Subhan al-Hayy alladhi la yamut, Subhan al-Hayy alladhi la yamut. Just keep on repeating that. Subhan al-Hayy alladhi la yamut. Glory be to the living one who does not die. So so there's quite a few adab, etiquettes of dhikr. Don't just, even if you go with somebody else, don't just have normal conversations and laughing and joking. Be deadly serious. Be deadly serious when you go there. And remember the akhirah. Remember that's going to be your home. Wallahu a'lam. Jazakallah khair. That's an important question, because people have no respect whatsoever for graves now. Allahu a'lam. Has he gone?
Jazakallah for that.
Jazakallah khair.
Now I'm here.
Yeah, there. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum.
We'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu
Are we going to sing? I've got a subhu bada. Because without Mumin, we have to get something going. الصبح بدا من طلعته والليل دجى من وفرته فاق الرسل فضلا وعلا أهدى السبل لدلالته كنز الكرم مولى النعم هادي الأمم لشريعته أزكى النسب أعلى الحسب صدق الله كل العرب فيه نسبي فلا إنه
That's got into my head since you've given
كل العرب في خدمتي. Such a beautiful line. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ما شاء الله شيخنا الشيخ دكتور ديدي، كيف الحال؟
الحمد لله نبي خير، وأنتم؟
ما شاء الله الحمد لله. لماذا لا تسمع يعني كل ليلة عندنا دروس في تفسير سورة التوبة، أنت لا تحضر؟ لماذا؟ الوقت متأخر لك.
كيف تعرف هذا؟ سبحان الله.
في الحقيقة أنا لا أعرف. سامحني، أنا لا أعرف، سامحني، أنا اتهمتك بشيء، سامحني. نعم إن شاء الله أنت حاضر معنا.
Maybe laugh the expression it was Arabic as well. سبحان الله.
ما شاء الله. كيف الحال دكتور؟
الحمد لله أنا بخير. اليوم بعد نفعل الواجب.
عفوا لحظة. هذا أنت لست دكتور ديدي؟ نعم.
عفوا.
لا أنا ظننت أنك دكتور ديدي. لا أنت يوسف.
نعم.
لماذا اتصلت؟ أنا أتكلم معك الليلة إن شاء الله في الدرس.
نعم سأتكلم معك في هذه الليلة. نعم ولكن هذا جيد ليكون جاهز لهذه الليلة.
طيب يعني هل السؤال عن الواجب؟ يعني اتصلت عن الواجب؟ نعم.
لا هذا عن الزكاة.
هو على وعده صح؟ هو على وعد هذه العبارة.
لا ليس عن العبارة. لا هذا عن الموضوع خطير الذي هو عن الزكاة.
مرحبا تفضل سل. إذا استطعنا أن نجيب إن شاء الله نحاول أن نجيبك.
فأريد أن أفتح بنك حساب لابني. وهل يجب عليه أو علي أن
يجب علي نعم.
أن كيف نقول
أزكي نفسي له، يعني أدفع الزكاة.
نعم.
طيب الجواب سهل جدا إن شاء الله. أنت على أي مذهب؟ لأن هذا يختلف بحسب المذهب.
تمام.
نعم. أنت مالكي. أنا أعرف أنت فرنسي تحب المغاربة. نعم.
نعم.
فأنت مالكي.
نعم.
عند مالك والشافعي وأحمد. نعم تجب الزكاة على مال الصبي. عند أبي حنيفة لا. عند أبي حنيفة لا تجب الزكاة حتى يبلغ، حتى يكون بالغا.
تمام.
لا تغير المذهب.
ليس اليوم.
نعم لأن زوجته يعني هي حنفية وهو مالكي. نعم تمام إن شاء الله. فعلى قول مالك والشافعي وأحمد نعم يجب الزكاة على مال الصبي، لكن على قول أبي حنيفة لا.
واضح. تمام. هذا جيد.
الله يبارك فيكم إن شاء الله. نعم إن شاء الله نراكم
هذه الليل
إن شاء الله بالليل إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم.
جزاك الله خيرا. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته شيخ.
السلام عليكم. ما شاء الله يعني. No, you know what though? He's only been Muslim 7 years.
ما شاء الله. He pulled through that. ما شاء الله.
No, he's only been Muslim 7 years. Everybody's listening. That brother there has only been Muslim 7 years. And he's asked a full question on zakah.
It's the whole phone call.
Yeah, exactly. He's been studying Arabic now for 2 years.
Translated, but I don't think people know what he said.
Oh yeah. So he asked a question. He's had a baby. MashaAllah. Allah bless his child and protect the child. So he's asking that he's setting up a bank account for the child, money for the child. Is the zakat required? So just a general point for everybody's listening on this point, because Muslims they're just too easy with the money. Like your kids' money is your money, and your money is your kids' money, and wife's money and the husband's money is all the same. You got to be clear with zakat on who owns what. So if the money belongs to the child, then on the view of Malik, Shafi and Ahmed, yes, there is zakat. On the view of Abu Hanifa, no, until the child becomes an adult, there's no zakat. Is that a call? Is this a dawah, man?
You don't own the street! You pay council tax! Are you mad? Are you kidding? I'm gonna poke him off!
Yeah. Dawah, man. Honestly, some clowns out there, man. Subhanallah. In the khutbah, was talking about like this. He calls himself the Christian priest.
I haven't heard of that, till you've said it.
What's he called himself? Christian prince. There's a guy called Muhammad Hijab and Ali Da'wah. I actually saw the clip, the debate with him, and they fell flat on their face. And he actually, subhanallah, quoting. Yeah, both of them together. I don't know, because the way it's all set up, like you have some doubts about the clip, how it's made, and maybe some playing around with something. But especially, Muhammad Hijab's good. He's good with his arguments. The other one, like Ali Da'wah, he hasn't got a lot of ilm behind, whereas Muhammad Hijab does. And the same with this guy, like Da'wah, man. He's just a clown, that guy, man. Honestly, just a clown, man.
But the main thing about that is the etiquette of Da'wah. That's, I think, what way, if you're saying that.
You know one thing, the thing about screaming, like, I mean, in the khutbah, I don't scream, do I? No.
It depends what you're talking about.
No, but the khutbah is the point where you got to go loud, because that's how the Prophet did it, the khutbah. Yeah, no. I mean, one narration mentions, like, some Sahabi said we sat under the mimbar and we scared that the mimbar was going to fall down on us. Khutbahs are different, like, shout down. But other than that, no, it depends. It depends on the situation. But not everybody's the same. قُولَ لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا. Allah subhanahu told Musa and Haroon alayhi salam, speak to Fir'aun in a gentle manner. That's the asl. That's the norm. There are certain times where, yeah, you do. Especially, I tell you who. Not just random people. You don't shout at random people in that. Family, yeah.
Family, yeah.
Or someone who's close to you, like a close mate. There you can be open, and there you can... I can have a go at my kids. I can have a go at my wife, and my wife at me, and my brothers and sisters, because you're close enough. So you can do that, but just some random...
That showed you how close the Prophet was to the Sahaba, to them.
Yeah.
That the serious issues, when he came to khutbah, he addressed them seriously. In a way.
Yeah, khutbah has to be that way. Let's just go with that, yeah?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Saqib from Dalton.
Is that Saqib?
Yes, it is.
I was waiting for you today, man. You and Yahya. Go on, bismillah, how you doing? You okay?
Alhamdulillah, how are you both? Are you okay?
I'm good, mashallah, we're good. You know what we might have to do? Like a little session where you and Yahya come in one Friday, once things ease up a bit.
Bismillah.
Because you two are hijacking the calls.
Got a lot of questions to ask, Sheikh, that's why.
Bismillah, go for it. Let's see what you got for us.
Right, 2 questions. The first one, my neighbour did some work in my house. He's Christian, he helped me put on my door and stuff. And he wanted, like, as a token of thank you, I said, look, I'll get you a KFC and stuff. Are you allowed to buy the KFC if it's not a halal one? Is the first question, please.
So you're going to buy it for him?
Yeah, just like as a
No. Just blag him and just get some. Just go and get like something else, like a chicken burger from a halal takeaway, and just tell him it's from KFC. But no, as a Muslim, you cannot buy something that's haram. Right. So even though it's like he's asking for a KFC in exchange for doing some jobs, as a Muslim, you can't buy that. You can't buy that. I'll give another example of that, because some of the students in madrasa asked this, like an elderly neighbour. You want to go and do some errands for her, and she gives you a shopping list, but in there's some haram stuff. You can't buy that, even though like some of the students were trying to argue, but you're doing a good deed for her because but you can't buy it. You can't buy haram. It's as simple as that. You can't buy, like, you're going to go and buy bottles of alcohol for them as well. Go and get him a can of lager with his KFC. No, you can't do that. Behave yourself, Saqib.
To be honest with you, I actually bought the halal version, but I thought I'd just double check it. Just to make sure that I'm not...
Why did you even need to check that? Come on, bro. Come on.
Because the thing is, like, I didn't personally... I said that you're not allowed to eat it, but some of my friends were like, but it's just chicken. And I said, yeah, I know, but it's not the halal version, so I'm sure you can't. I said, I'll ask Sheikh Haroon on Friday.
Tayyib, Jazakallah khairan. What's the other question?
Just one more question, sorry, Sheikh. The non-Muslims being allowed in Makkah Madinah Sharif, is that an Islamic sort of ruling, or is that just sort of like a Saudi Arabian tradition type of thing?
No, there is an Islamic basis for that. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا إنما المشركون نجس فلا يقربوا المسجد الحرام بعد عامهم هذا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, all those who believe, the unbelievers are impure. And the impurities, najasat al-ruh, al-batin, and they're in halat al-kufr. So they're not allowed to approach al-Masjid al-Haram after this year. And the Prophet sent Sayyidina Ali, because Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, when this verse is revealed, he's already gone with the Hujjaj. It's the 9th year after Hijrah. He sent Sayyidina Ali to make the announcement that from this year on, no mushrik can come to the Haram. And that's the view of the majority of the Imams. Malik, Shafi, and Ahmed, and the Jumhur. Abu Hanifa holds a view that this is saying they're allowed to come, but no iqamah there. They can't stay there. No ibadah. They're allowed to come, but just as visitors passing through. But they can't live there. They can't worship there. But most of the imams say, no, this ayah is speaking about they cannot even enter the space there. And the ayah explains why. Like, because some say, like, why? Like, why would that? Allah says they're najis. Yani, because of the kufr within them, these are the holiest of all lands. Because of that, then no, they're not allowed to enter. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much, Sheikh.
Inshallah, we hope to see you here maybe after Ramadan. You're going to come in?
Inshallah. I'm ready. I'm ready, Sheikh.
Take care, inshallah. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Let's quickly run through some questions on the. So the first one, Hassan, taking vaccine in Ramadan doesn't break your fast, does it? No, it doesn't. Vaccinations and injections in any form do not break. It's only if they enter through your mouth and your nose and your ears and the rear passage, and it has to enter into the body. Whereas vaccinations, any form, do not. Can we pray Qiyam al-Layl in Jama'ah during Ramadan? On the view of Imam Shafi'i, yes. Other Imams, they say this karaha because the Prophet never prayed large numbers. He did do Salah bil-Layl, night prayer, with one or two Sahabi coming and join. Ibn Mas'ud mentions, Sayyidina Hudhayfa mentions, and it's interesting what they said. I mean, there's some background to that, but generally, the Prophet didn't have large jama'ah of Qiyam al-Layl. But Imam Shafi'i considers it fine. There's no problem with that. Allahu a'lam. Allahumma. Carry on. We'll come back to that one. Hassan Jamil. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Liverpool are the weakest team in the draw. Yeah, Porto. Yeah, hold on, you United fan. What draw were you in? The Europa draw. Who did you got, like, what was it? No, you got Granada. No, you got Granada. I saw it this morning. Yeah, I saw that, yeah. Adil, let's see this question. I regularly pray with my daughter who's 1-year-old, mashallah. And she really enjoys praying with me. However, recently we've seen some ulama disputing online on whether one can pick up the child using two hands. Is there valid opinion Hanafi fiqh when it's allowed? Even though the daughter loves it, obviously don't want to invalidate my salah. Would be good if you can shed some light on this. Yeah, there's an argument that's arisen. It's an issue with the Hanafis. So yes, the Prophet ﷺ, he prayed with his granddaughter, climbed on him. But the hadith doesn't say the Prophet ﷺ picked her up. So she climbed on his shoulders. And so he's in sujood and she climbed. So that's fine. That's fine. No, I do with mine. I did. Yeah, Musa, he's 5 now. He climbs on it and he holds on tight. He holds on tight.
He loves it, right?
Yeah. He does, man. They all do, man. They see a little slide there when you're down in sujood. They're always waiting for me to go in sujood. Yeah. But mashallah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful letting them experience. But the issue here is picking up with two hands. So what you have here, the dispute here, according to all the Imams, al-amal al-kathir yubtal as-salah. Al-amal al-kathir, moving around too much in your prayer breaks your prayer. But then there's a wide range of views. What exactly is al-amal al-kathir? What does it mean? Like Sayyidina Imam Shafi'i says, doing this, 1, 2, 3, khalas salah batil. 3 separate movements in one rukn of the salah breaks the prayer. Well, stop itching, man. Now, you all know Sheikh Siraj. Allah yarhamu. I asked him that question one time. Actually, it made me laugh. Because even within the Hanafis, they say it's better to try and avoid doing that. So I asked him that, what you do when you're itchy? He said, space it out. So he said, just get one itch in there, and then you go into ruku, and then get the next one in. Because it's 3 separate. Like if you do this, and then move away, and then do that.
Yeah, but you're saying that, but you'd sit there in front of your boss doing an interview, and you'd have 50 itches, and you'd stand there like that.
Exactly.
And you wouldn't even do it.
No, spot on. And just to add that the asl of this is وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. Stand in front of Allah in qunut. And qunut, just stand there devoutly without moving. So now some of the Hanafis hold a view, using your two hands, both hands together, breaks the prayer. That's amal kathir. That's a view within the madhab. So that's where the dispute is. Does that actually, if you pick up your child with both hands, does it break your prayer or not? Allahu, it's not clear. It's not clear. So I'd say the better than just be safer on that one. The question has been sent to some of our mashayikh in Sham in Syria, and we're waiting for an answer on that one. Like using both hands according to the Hanafis, does it break or not? Inshallah, for the prayers that you've done so far, inshallah ta'ala, we hope that it's accepted. Other than that, just be careful. Does the earliest sahur time in Ramadan also mean an early fajr time, or does fajr remain the same and only the sahur time? No, if you're working with an earlier sahur time, it means also your fajr time is earlier. Which also means the tarawih needs to be finished. Some timetables in Ramadan are really early, around 1:15, as the end of Isha, the beginning of fajr. So on that view, that you need to finish your tarawih and have your sahur. So it means both. Omar, have you got anything to go on today? No free-all questions. Tell me, you've got about half an hour to think up something. Yeah. Allahumma salli alayhi. A man saying, if someone's got their tooth taken out and the dentist told them not to rinse their mouth, it's not stopped bleeding, how would they pray? Imam Shafi said bleeding doesn't break. So the Hanafis, so a man's a part-time Hanafi, he's one of the Tullab, or he switches every week, this guy. So with the Hanafis, he will fall under Ma'zur. Ma'zur is somebody whose wudu keeps on breaking and he can't stop it. So what you do in that case, do one wudu for each prayer time until it stops. One wudu for each prayer time until it stops. Allahu A'lam. Oh, there's a dental discussion going on. Should we go back? Is there more? Thanks for even with the goals. Oh yeah, they're all debating the bleeding. Yeah. Allahu Akbar.
Well, I know what you mean, because there's loads of times where, I've got my tooth took out. They've never said don't wash it out or not. And they say keep it dry for a bit for the next 2 hours and then you can eat and drink. They just say don't have no hot things and stuff that way.
Yeah.
But there is sometimes certain cases, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. What's this about? We need to keep track. I think it might have been your I think it might have been your da'wah man's clip. Do you like da'wah man, you?
Yeah, you do. Don't change your view just because what Sheikh Haroon said.
Hey, don't say wallah like that. Don't say wallah like that. Honestly, people should just be careful. Everybody, like Pakistani say Quran di khasmi, and the Arabs or the wannabe Arabs, wallahi this, wallahi that. A'udhu billah. Yeah. Imam al-Shafi'i said, "Ma halaftu billahi la sadiqan wa la kadhiban." I never swore by Allah, not truthful, not lying. People swear over nothing. Over nothing they swear, a'udhu billah. Don't do that again.
Especially not over da'wah man.
Da'wah man.
Especially not over da'wah.
And the worst, and sorry about going on about this because people are too bad with this. When somebody's lying and he still says, "Wallah, just out of habit," that the Prophet's nice and called al-yamin al-ghamus. يغمس صاحبها في الإثم ثم في نار جهنم. Like somebody knowing lies and he's saying, Wallahi, the Prophet's nice and called that a plunging oath that plunges him into sin and then into the depths of hellfire. And the Prophet's nice and said, اليمين الكاذبة تدع الديار بلاقع. يعني خربان بلاقع. يعني people always swearing, oh, Wallahi this, Wallahi that. That's why husbands are divorcing the wives all the time and the kids are abandoning against fighting with their parents all the time. Why? Because they're saying Wallahi all the time. The Prophet's nice and said, a lying oath leaves homes broken. So be careful. No wallahi this and wallahi that. So do you watch your what's that? Oh, that's the brother last week, yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alayhi salam wa rahmatullah.
How are you, Sheikh? How are you, Imam Waddah?
Alhamdulillah. Is the same brother who called us last week from Iraq?
No. This is somebody different. This is Anas from Qatar.
From Qatar. Marhaba. How are you, Anas? You okay?
Alhamdulillah, not too bad. How are you all?
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, we're all good. We're all happy that you've called us all the way from Qatar, mashallah. Bilad al-Muslimin, Allah Akbar. Mashallah. How can we help you, if we can?
I just wanted to ask a question, just from last week. So last week somebody had asked about, it went, I think it was like an end times discussion.
Yeah.
You were talking about Egypt and the hadith that mentioned Syria and Iraq.
Misr, Misr as well, yeah.
So I just wanted to ask, where does Euphrates goal conflict fall into all of this?
I don't want to answer at the top of my head about the timeline where exactly that happens, and he just claims it's actually happening right now. But yeah, so the Prophet nice and spoke about gold appearing where people will wage war over it. But the timeline I'm not sure on. So inshallah, leave that with me, and inshallah I'll research that to find what the timeline is, and then come back to you inshallah. But I've read something recently that there's something that happened on the borders with Turkey and Iraq could possibly fall into that. Wallahu a'lam. So I don't know the answer to that, inshallah. I'll look into it and come back next week on that, inshallah.
Okay.
Allah yubarak.
Right, and something else is just in the recent times, within like the past year since Ramadan, we've had so many different like senior ulama passing away.
Yeah. Allah.
Is this considered as like one of the signs?
Yes, it is. And I remember like 20 years ago when I was studying, even then our teachers were saying it's already started. Like the major scholars like dying. And the issue is not that, because obviously from the beginning there's always been scholars dying. There's nobody else coming in place as them. That's the issue. So yes, that started a while back, but it's accelerating now. Like kibar al-ulama from across the Muslim world are dying. And nobody's stepping forward. Like me and Sheikh Waddah, we're the next in line, which is alamat as-sa'a. That's a sign.
It's scary though, you do see it. You do see it.
So yeah, without a shadow of doubt, that is a clear sign that juhala, the Prophet said, ignorant people are now guiding the masses, and fadallu wa adallu. So yeah, it's happening right now. I mentioned at the beginning, I don't know if you caught it, one of the great mufassirin of this generation, Sheikh Muhammad Ali Sabuni, he died this morning in Turkey. And he's one of the great Imams of Quran. Wallahu a'lam. Wallahu a'lam.
أخي
جزاك الله خير. Thank you very much.
كل خير.
يلا السلام عليكم جزاك الله خير.
وعليكم السلام.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful.
From different places as well, mashallah.
Shall we carry on with that?
There's a few there.
So now saying Sheikh Islam did a video about holding and said it's fine. Yeah, and that's the argument that he's saying it's fine, but yeah, it's not clear cut as to whether it's fine or not. And he's even said, and Sheikh Samir al-Nas from Sham, that he verified that, but we've actually tried to contact him, and he's not clearly said yet whether he actually confirmed that that's fine with the Hanifis. So Sheikh Islam has put that on. Muhammad Islam is an alim from Manchester, no, from Birmingham, but it's not clear as to whether it's fine or not. Allahu alam. You want that one, do you? Why did you laugh at that? It's not, man, because I've dealt with enough cases like that.
Happens.
Honestly, man, I've dealt with enough cases like that. And it's not just drunk with alcohol, even like smoking weed and he's stoned and then he goes home and divorces his wife, and then he's afterwards say, definitely with Abu Hanifa and Shafi, and I think it's the Jumhur, the majority said taliq, the divorce counts. He says regardless. Normally as a rule, divorce only counts if he's a sane of mind. But they said this is an zajran as a punishment for him because of the haram that he's committed. So the Imams, he said if a person is drunk, no, the divorce counts as a punishment for what he's done. Are we not singing today?
We had Sulaiman there when you were scrolling down. I think I've seen a little comment.
Is that who he is? Is that
That's
Sulaiman?
Abu Khalid now. He's Abu Khalid, I think.
Is he?
Al-Hamsi, yeah.
MashaAllah. Sulaiman.
Give us a call.
He was on yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on with his brother as well, mashallah. He had good nasheed yesterday for you. I told him to phone in today, but mashallah. Sulaiman, if you're watching, give us a call.
I know Nadeem, mashallah. I know Nadeem, mashallah. Can you please tell the Ummah that if someone dies here in the UK or anywhere else, that they should bury the deceased wherever they pass away? People think you should return the body to Pakistan, yeah. It's a very common thing still in the Pakistani community that we live here all our lives, but we have to be buried in Pakistan. It's a musibah, it's a problem. You're buried where you die. You're buried where you die. Imam al-Nawawi in Kitab al-Adhkar, he says if a person leaves a wasiyah, a bequest saying that I want to be sent He said, وَصِيَّ بَاطِلَ لَا تُنْفَذْ. He said, that's void, and he said it should not be carried out. The Prophet ﷺ advised and instructed, do the burial straight away, not to delay the burial, and that adds to the delay. And then there's other problems in terms of preserving the body. In some cases, they have to put preservatives in the body that has alcohol within it. So yeah, anybody who's died, even your parents tell you want to be buried here, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. You're buried where you die. Full stop. Wallahu a'lam. أحمد يا حبيبي يا حبيبي سلام عليك. How can we start majalis salah ala nabi here in the UK like they do in Sham? Now do that. It's not just Sham, it's many places, but just set it up. Set it up. Just get a group of people together, majalis al-dhikr, majalis al-Quran, majalis salah ala nabi. Set it up, just go and arrange it. Wallahu a'lam. No, just get a few people together, get a few munshideen. Sulaiman's always available to sing a song for you. So get him to do that. No. Ahmad ya habibi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Who am I speaking to, brother?
It's Ijaz, Sheikh.
Bismillah, this is Sheikh Haroon with you as well, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, Assalam. How are you, Sheikh? You okay?
Alhamdulillah. Who is this? Sorry, Ijaz?
Andy, it's Ijaz.
MashaAllah. Bismillah. How can you help you, Ijaz?
I have a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned last Friday about the leadership, the woman as a leader.
What was that? Sorry, last Friday you mentioned about the leader.
Yeah, said the Prophet said that when the woman is a leader, there's no barakah something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in Pakistan and Bangladesh, for a long time there is a woman as a leader all the time.
Political
and nobody objects.
Just quickly, لن يفلح قوم. The Prophet ﷺ said the people who do that will never be successful. Look at the state of Pakistan and Bangladesh. Look at the state.
I mean,
Sadaqa Rasulullah.
Yeah. No, I mean there is ulama as well, but nobody is an issue that there is a hadith that we shouldn't take a woman as a leader, but they are even in the government with a woman and all.
Yeah, politics affects ulama. That's why Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, if you see an alim standing at the bab Qasr al-Malik, if you see an alim standing at the door of the palace of king, then have doubt about his iman. Like once people get close to the muluk and the wuzara, ministers, and there's an element of fear that comes in that you can't be open. We can speak openly here. We're sat in front of people of power and authority, then you're going to be a bit more careful. And that's why the way the Imam has said, if they would keep themselves as far away as possible from leaders, political leaders, because it affects what they're able to say. Allahu Akbar.
Yeah. And the second question about zakat.
Marhaba, yeah.
Like for the tax purposes, people play with the rules, like to save the tax.
Yeah.
Is it something for a zakat as well? Because I heard something like there was a qazi who was wealthy, he had too much money, but whenever it's time come for a zakat, before it's time for 1 year, he give all his wealth to his wife as a gift. And when his time come for 1 year, she give it back to his husband.
Yeah, a'udhu billah. A'udhu billahi min dhalik. That's a healer.
They have a very...
Yeah, no. Yeah, let me just say. So, yeah. If you do that with your taxes, it's all good and well. It's all good and well, because taxes are your money that's getting taken off you. So it's all good and well. As long as you don't do anything that's illegal. But don't do that with zakah. Don't ever do that with zakah. Zakah is haqq al-fuqara ala malik. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala required you to give that. So now you're dodging paying zakat and trying to avoid paying. There's no khair in that man. There's no khair in that person's wealth.
Because
sorry, just to finish on that point, Qadi Abu Yusuf, the students of Abu Hanifa, he said to do that is jaiz. When Abu Hanifa was told about that, he said, "Hada fatwa min dunyahu." He said that's a fatwa of his from the dunya, meaning it only helps you. hukman, as a rule, okay, you've not done anything, but you're going to have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're going to have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not that there was any hardship there that you couldn't pay. You could, but you just keep on trying to avoid it. And so that's why even in Abu Hanifa, the Mu'tamid, is that he's sinful for doing that. So as a qadha, as a fatwa, he doesn't have to pay zakat, but he's sinful for doing that because he's trying to dodge pay zakat. So there's no khair within that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ الرِّبَى وَيُرْبِ الصَّدَقَاتِ. Allah will increase your wealth by paying your zakat and sadaqah. Don't anybody think that by dodging it actually make more money. The more you give zakah, we were doing a dars on this last night, Surah Tawbah, تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ, some of the Imams of Quran said, and one of the meanings to zaki means to purify and clean. But tutahir means that. But there's another meaning which is to give you growth in your money. I take their zakah from them to purify their wealth and them, and also to increase their wealth, to zakihim. So people shouldn't be scared of paying zakah and giving sadaqah. That's what increases your money. And that type is, this khawf min al-razaq, like people fearing that al-razaq is not going to give them. So there's no khair whatsoever within that. Wallahu a'lam.
Shukriya, Jazak. And they said at the end that the Qazi lose his faith when he died.
There you go.
Allah take his faith, what he did.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله إن في ذلك لعبرة. طيب إن شاء الله we'll see you tomorrow إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله. شكرا شيخ. السلام عليكم.
يا حبيبي. Yeah, and? Are you asking about the wallahi or what they say? The Prophet said wallahi. وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ No, وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ Muhammad. But he's not talking about did I watch Dawah Man or did I do this and that. He's talking about the most important. If you're talking about the most important of all things, then marhaba. Well, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
MashaAllah. Who do we have with us?
Sheikh, can I speak to Sheikh Haroon?
Bismillah. Who is
Sheikh,
this?
كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله. كيف أنت؟ من معنا؟
Guess, Sheikh, who is it?
What did you say?
I'm one of your servants.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا. Well, first of all, who are you?
I remember you waking me up once and putting your foot in my face.
Hold on a second. What happened there?
It was in Luton, if I remember correctly.
Oh, what did I do? What did you do?
I was asleep at night. You walked in and woke me up by messing me with yourself.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I
just wanted to give salam, Sheikh. I haven't seen you for a long time.
Oh, is it Shadab? Shadab?
No,
Oh, my God. Shadab, what are you doing harassing me, calling like this? This guy's a gangster, man. This guy's a gangster, man. I'm not joking.
Wallah,
yeah, Sheikhana Sheikh Salman Nas. He's all the barakat of Sheikhana, mashallah. Like this guy walks in 20 years ago into a masjid and the Sheikh, he's come from Sham and he's teaching. And mashallah, this guy now, he's teaching durus, and although he's still got the gangster in him as well. He's still got it. That's never going away, is it? But he's like a, what is it, like a mullah beater, where he just war against the shuyukh. But mashallah, Allah Akbar, what Sheikh Salman has done to this guy. He's all from his barakat.
Just for everybody listening, alhamdulillah, Sheikh Salman is my master, but I just wanted to add a point. One of the reasons why I started teaching fiqh was because of this man who's sitting on the stage now. I used to hang around with Sheikh Salman.
Can I tell them what happened? Can I tell him?
He used to have a snooker hall.
He used to have a snooker hall. Yeah, he sold it a while back. So after some durus, we're in Birmingham for some classes. So we go around to a snooker hall. And we're having a frame of snooker. And from what I remember, I beat you, right?
I was concentrating on the fiqh of marriage.
Yeah. So we're going around playing, and he's asking all these questions about marriage. So over a frame, we went through all the essential details of marriage. But then there was a while later, I think it was in Peterborough it was, where we sat there, and I think I mentioned to Shadab, like, you sat with the Sheikh all this time. And this is a lesson to everybody. It's all good and well hanging out with people of knowledge. But there's an amana there. There's a trust there. Like he's been there with the Sheikh for 10 years. So you've heard, so even though you may not have studied, because he's the driver, he drives the Sheikh around when he comes. So you've taken so much So we told the Sheikh, and he just gave him permission, and the Sheikh told him to go and do it. MashaAllah, he's teaching tahar and salah and stuff.
That's good.
Although some of his fatwas are dodgy, man, aren't they? Now, MashaAllah, nice one for calling, Shadab.
Jazakallah, Sheikh. I don't want to disturb you too much.
MashaAllah, shukran.
I'll speak to you soon, inshallah. Salam ala everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Feels like you've been spread around the whole UK.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
You have all your callers call in every now and then.
It always happens. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh Haroon. How are you?
I'm good. Who's this?
Abbas.
Abbas Sheffield?
Abbas from... Nah, Abbas... You've got loads of Abbasis. Abbas from Oldham, yeah.
Go on. How are you doing, Abbas?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Abbas, how's your Arabic, man? I hope you've kept up on it.
أتكلم عربية قليلا يعني it's been like that for a long time.
Hold on, let me switch. أتكلم عربية قليلا but not for a long time.
Bit mixed there.
Well, how can we help you?
Yeah, Sheikh, so I previously asked this question to it seems like I'm fatwa shopping, but I'm not. It's if you bought items for your first child, like clothes and prams and stuff like that,
yeah,
and you want to use those same items for your subsequent children.
Yeah.
So when we first bought these items, we didn't make like a solid intention that it's going to belong to the first child. Yeah. We just did like a normal purchase, where we just bought the items.
Yeah.
Obviously, it becomes a problem now. Can we use those items for subsequent children?
Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Just for everybody else to understand what he's talking about, it's a common issue, which is that parents buy stuff for their kids. Once something belongs to the kids, you can't just give it away and use it anyway. It belongs to the child. And mal al-sabi is mahfuz. You have to take care of anything that belongs to the child. But then it creates a practical problem. Kids grow out of stuff, and what you do then with that, and normal practice to hand it down to the next kid down. So it does cause a problem. So what the Hanifis advise, when you buy something for your children, buy it with the intention it's yours, but they're using it. So then it's yours, and when they grow out of it, then you can do whatever you want with it. But now the issue there is that he's already bought it with the intention it belongs to the child. So when this question, I don't know of a makhlas within the Hanafi madhab. When this question, I remember when we were studying in Damascus, and the question came from some of the mothers there. And so we took it to some of the Sheikh, and one of the brothers went to the Mufti, the Shafi'i Mufti of Damascus, Mufti Abdul Fattah Bizzam, and he just said it's allowed. He said it's allowed. So I'll just tell you what he said. He's not the Shafi'i, he's the Mufti of Damashq, the Mufti of Damascus, Mufti Abdul Fattah Bizzam. He said it's allowed to give it away. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakumullah khair. Helps a lot.
So your fatwa shopping, we found one for you, but when you're shopping, there's a cost, mate. You have to send some money into abdullahquilliamsociety masjid, right?
Inshallah, yeah. Sheikh, I've also got a request. Can you sing Qasidatul Bulbuli at some point during this call?
Oh, yeah. How do you remember that?
You showed me Wali, La to Wali. You showed me a micro.
Oh, yes. I haven't done that in a long time. I'm going to play it. Honestly, it's so funny, man. There's a background to this, which is Al-Asma'i from Baghdad, one of the leading imams of the language. And he goes to the Khalifa of that time. The Khalifa's put down a challenge. Because what used to happen is the shu'ara, the poets used to come to present to the Khalifa, and they recite poetry, and he would reward them by giving some money and coins and so on. So that was a way that they used to make money. But then what the Khalifa did, he got a bit nasty with them, because what he did was he put a condition that he's only going to give if it's a poem that nobody can memorize and nobody's heard before. So, but what he did, he set it up where he had a ghulam and a jari, a slave, male and female slave, and the poet will come in, and then he hears it and he repeats it back. Then he calls the boy out who's heard it, and he repeats it back in the Nigeria. So because they've heard it 2-3 times now, they're all repeating it back. So he says, I'm not giving you anything. So it's causing a problem. Then Al-Asma'i comes with a poem and he recites it. Sawtu safir al-bulbuli hayyaja qalbi al-thamil. You know it, yeah? Thamil. Al-ma'u wal-wardu. I've forgotten the honesty. It's an amazing poem.
Tongue twister as well.
Yeah. So yeah, inshallah.
Okay, so that's what I hear, Sheikh.
No, I'm trying to find it. It's a funny poem. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah. I'm gonna play. I've got.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
I want to play it. صوت صفير البلبل هيج قلب. I've got it here. 1 second. I found it. Oh no, it's
playing it there.
There's an ad.
Yeah, just inshallah, just to remind us all that we'll be on a live appeal inshallah this Monday, and we've got a little video inshallah. Yeah, just
1887, a white Liverpudlian Englishman became Muslim and built a mosque in 1887.
This is the first mosque in Britain.
With your wonderful donation, £1.8 million.
Through £1.8 million of generous donations.
Have been spent in restoring the old building.
With all your generous support, we have secured Britain's first mosque.
We want to secure the future of our community by acquiring next door and the car park so that we can deliver an amazing visitor centre, not just for the Muslims in Britain, but the Muslims across the world. Donate on our live appeal. Hashtag be part of the future.
Be a part of history and the future.
Be part of the future.
Donate to our live appeal. Hashtag be a part of the future.
To help refurbish Britain's first mosque.
And help us secure the future of Britain's first mosque.
Join us on our live TV appeal, Monday 22nd March 2021 at 8 p.m. on Imam channel, Sky 757 and TV1, Sky 781.
We're back on, yeah. We're back on.
Famous poem.
Abbas reminded me of that poem and I haven't read it in a long time. So Al-Asma'i, he comes to the Khalifa and he reads this poem. صوت صفير البلبل هيج قلبي الثامن الماء والزهر مع تكون too fast وأنت يا سيدي وسيدي ومولني فكم تيمني غزير عقيقني قطفته من وجنة من لثم ورد خجني فقال لا وقد غدا مهروني والخود مالت طربا من فعل هذا الرجل فولولت أو يذكر عنه فولولت ولي ويلني فقلت لا تولولي وبين اللؤلؤ لي كريون قالت له حين كذا انهض وجد بالنقل وفتية سقونني قهوة كالعسل شممتها بأنا في أزكى من القرنفل في وسط بستان حلي بالزهر والسرور والعود دندن لي والطبل طب لي طب والسقف سق لي والرقص قد طابني شوا وشاهشي على ورقص فرجني وغرد القمر يصيح ملل في ملني ولو تراني راكبا على حمار أهزني يمشي على 3 كمشية العرنجن والناس ترجم جمني في السوق بالقلقل والكل كع خلفي ومن حويلني لكن مشيت هاربا من خشية العقنقل إلى لقاء ملك معظم مبجل يأمرني بخلعة حمراء كالدم دملي أجر فيها ماشيا مبغددا للذيال أنا الأديب الألمعي من حي أرض الموصل نظمت قطعا زخرفت يعجز عنها الأدب أقول في مطلعها صوت صفير البلبل. It's an amazing
So when you describe it, and
I know some of the words in there. You know what cracks me up? There's a word for walking like somebody from Baghdad. Mubaghdid.
Is that what it is?
Yani Sahib Baghdad. Mubaghdid. That cracks me up. Anyhow, what are we doing now?
He's enjoying the top.
No, but then what happens? Then the Khalifa, he can't repeat it back, and he gets the girl and boy, and they can't repeat it back. So Asma'i, he says the deal was that, yeah, the Khalifa said anybody can do that the equivalent weight, I think in gold or whatever he's written it on, then I'll give him that. So he says, okay, then I'll give it to you. He says, show me what you've written it on. He said, I've written it on Rukham, I've written on marble. And it takes like some men to bring it in.
Engraved it, basically.
He's inscribed it on marble. Allahu Afwan samihni. Tfaddal. Yeah, deaf is allowed. أعلن النكاح بالدفوف. But other than that, pretty much no. No. You got a guitar? طيب. Positive feeling in what? First of all, the general view of the ulama is that it's not allowed to use any musical instruments except for dufuf. The Prophet himself said, "Alinu nikaha bid dufuf." Like when the marriage takes place, have the deaf. There should be like a party. Other than that, most of the Imams said no. Now, Hamza's heard of a fatwa from Imam al-Ghazali, which is there, but that's spiritual. That's not like just general music, like all the stuff that you listen out there and you say, I feel good after it.
I feel like pain's on.
Like spiritually good, meaning that it brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah. Allahumma salli ala. What is this one, yeah?
One more question, is it?
When you go to the graveyard to visit the deceased, is it true that they can see you if you stand on the right side of the grave in the direction to be facing the grave? Allahu A'lam. I'm not sure on that. I've not heard that it's only on the right side. They're aware of your presence. There are hadith that indicates they're aware of your presence. And that's why you give salams to them. When the Prophet is speaking to the dead kuffar at one of the battles, and he said, didn't you find the wa'ad of your Rabb, of your Lord, to be true? And Sayyidina Umar says, like, the dead, Ya Rasulullah. He says, they hear me better than you hear me. So when you go to graveyards, they're aware of you. They have some type of consciousness that Allah subhanahu creates within them. But do they see you when you turn on the right side and so Allahu A'lam. From what perspective, what about from the perspective that we bury in Pakistan because of people regularly visiting graveyards, they're making dua for the deceased, either graveyards or bereft of his? That's not, that doesn't override the hukm. ودي سلامي الله أكبر يعني yeah, Suleiman phoning, let's sing that together. It's beautiful. I can't remember the exact words and I can't remember the naghma for it. ودي لي سلامي do you know it? يا رايح للحرم. No, man. Fun to watch. No, man. That guy's a shaitan. I'm saying it straight. That guy's a shaitan. A'udhu billah. That guy, man. No time whatsoever for him. Anyhow.
Well, Suleiman should ring in.
Suleiman phoning. We want to sing that.
Give Suleiman a ring. Just ring himself.
Hey, can you phone Suleiman? Get him on. He said all kinds, man. But there's enough people to go along with him.
But that's danger though in a way because kids see him as a role model in a way because he relates to them in his way, the way he speaks and stuff.
Hold on. I'm trying to get it past.
It's a picture of the Kaaba, don't worry about it.
Oh no, there's another one that's better than that.
Oh,
did you sing it?
Yeah, انظر الكعبة معلاها.
ما أحلاها.
It's beautiful, that one.
طيب, you sang it already. Anything else? Are we done? اديني سلامي يا رايح للحرام. اديني سلامي على هادي الأمم. Well, I've forgotten the words, and honestly, I haven't got that naghma properly.
Suleiman, if you're watching, ring in.
While we're waiting for Suleiman, has anybody else got a question that they want to ask? Or anybody else want to phone in? Because I think we're going to finish on that. Is there anything else there? Go down. Oh yeah, Aftakhar's question on joint bank accounts. How would you calculate zakat? Can you split into two? It depends. Yeah, and your husband and wife usually have joint bank accounts. It depends what they mean by that. Because sometimes, like, the husband's the one who's working, he's got the income coming in, but they'll set up a joint account so she can use it, but it's actually his money. There then khalas, he pays zakat on it, because he's only just set it up in order for her to use it, but it belongs to him. If, however, because the whole issue is about tamalluk or tamlik, that's the issue about zakat. You pay zakat on what you own. So if there's two, husband and wife, and they both put money into the accounts, let's say equal amounts, and they both consider it to be equally theirs, then each one pays on their own separately. And just to be clear as well, husband doesn't pay the wife's zakat. Husband doesn't pay the kids' zakat. Everybody pays their own zakat. He's not phoning it. Well, let's do that one. Ahmad ya habibi ya habibi, salam alayk ya aun al-gharib, salam alayk Ahmad ya miskun wa tibi, salam alayk. Anyway, we're done for time now. It's 10-4. I need to get going. Omar, do you sing any songs? Or do you need your instruments, don't you? Yeah.
Best thing to do is end with the dua, inshallah.
Inshallah. And inshallah, hopefully we'll have Brother Mumin next week. Honestly, you know one thing I realised now, you know all the laughter and joking, it's all coming from there.
It does.
Without him, it wasn't the same.
No.
So inshallah, we hope to have Brother Mumin back next week. Alhamdulillah. اختم بالدعاء. خلاص منك.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين، وصل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين، وصل على سيدنا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك، وأرنا وجهك الكريم وأنت راض عنا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار، واختم لنا بالصالحات خير الأعمال برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.
1887, a white Liverpudlian Englishman became Muslim and built a mosque in 1887.
This is the first mosque in Britain.
With your wonderful donation, £1.8 million
through £1.8 million of generous donations
have been spent in restoring the old building.
With all your generous support, we have secured Britain's first mosque.
We want to secure the future of our community by acquiring next door and the car park, so that we can deliver an amazing visitor the future.
Be a part of history and the future.
Be part of the future.
Donate to our library. Hashtag be a part of the future.
To help refurbish Britain's first mosque.
And help us secure the future of Britain's first mosque.
Join us on our live TV appeal, Monday 22nd March 2021 at 8 p.m. on Imam channel Sky 757 and TV1 Sky 781.